Wow. Please see. I only stopped it there because I'm shad. We are in our Jubilee year, and it's not just today we celebrate, let's celebrate for the whole year. When God spoke to the Israelites, and if you want to ever find it, it's in Leviticus chapter 25, and it tells you all about the Sabbath year and Jubilee. And we are in a year of Jubilee, and we need to remember that. And we're going to celebrate. There's going to be people coming throughout this year, and the more people we can get to come and talk that have been here before, the better. But it's remembering today is the start of something new. It's the beginning, not the end. It may have been 50 years since this church came here, but I think there's another 150 unless the Lord comes back. And it's quite possible to do that if we're faithful in what God called us to be, and that's be disciples. And he told his disciples to go out into all the world and make disciples, not converts, disciples. There is a big difference. Too often we go out and get people converted and they fall away because we don't make disciples. And so we have to be ready to make disciples. And that's important. And I think it's sometimes important to share. Because we are in a year of Jubilee, I think it would be good, instead of just sharing what's happened to you this week, we're not going to do that today. What I'm going to ask is for people to come up and share how they ended up coming to this church. Now, that's called you, because I could pull each one of you up to do that, but I want probably 4 or 5 people just to come up and share how they came to this church. So, who's coming first? Thank you, Errol. That's one. That's before I pick on you, because I'm good at picking on people. To be here. How God draws people in and makes people welcome. And we need to make sure that we're drawing people in and bringing people to this place. It's down to each one of us to bring people in, to bring fellowship and friendship with them so that they know that there's a welcome here. And if you're here for the first time this morning, I don't know, there's faces I don't know too well, welcome. Because this is a place where you can meet Jesus. Whether you know him already, this is a place where you can meet Jesus with other people that are of a like mind. They want you to know Jesus. Why? Because he's their friend and they're in fellowship with him. And that's the main thing, getting to know Jesus. And when you get to know Jesus, you can get to know the Father. And when you get to know the Father, boy, can things start to happen. That's when what it's all about, knowing our Creator. And that's why we're here this morning. That's why I'm here at this church, because I came because the moderator at the time came to me while I was over in Pudsey and said, John, the church at home, Wood, is going into an interregnum. That means you're going without a minister. Will you go over there and just keep an eye on them? And so I said, of course I will. No problem. I'll go over with no problem whatsoever. So I came over and saw the problems that were here. And I went back to the moderator and I said, excuse me, Kevin. I said, this church needs somebody more than an interim moderator. They need somebody there permanently. And he said, you're trying to get out of it, aren't you? And I said, no, actually, Kevin, I'm not. I'm trying to get in. And he just smiled all over his face. He just had this big beam on his face and said, look, John, if you're going to go over there, you can only go for 1 year. So I said, fair enough. If they'll accept me, I'll go for that 1 year. And so I came for a year. It's now 8 years later. You welcomed me in. You wanted me to stay. You might want to get rid of me now, but you welcomed me in then, and you wanted me to stay. And so you arranged with the moderator that I would stay. It's been a great 8 years. Struggles? Yes. Hardships? Yes. Challenges? Yes. Joy in abundance. Love in abundance. And that's the main thing. If we can get hold of those two things, love and joy in abundance, what fantastic things we can do together. And so I just see that there is such a future here if we work together, not separately. And I know yesterday, the people that worked on yesterday organising it came to me after yesterday, or halfway through yesterday, and said, "Never again, John, this is the last time." The number of times I've said that to me is, every time we do an event, the people that organise it come to me and say, "Never again, John, this is the last time." I don't believe it is, not for 1 minute in me. Even when there's 70, 80, 90, and even when they're above 90. I think we'll still carry on, because as long as God gives us the energy to do it, we can do it. And that's what's important. It's a great place to be. And I just love to worship God. And that's virtually what we're going to do this morning. We're going to give it all to him. So we're going to carry on in worship, and we're going to sing some more.